debate which day is the Sabbath according to the Bible between two pastors with questions and answers.
Lord, do you have a designated day of rest for your followers?
I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. Revelation chapter 1, verse 10.
Out of the 7 days in a week, which one is the Sabbath day?
The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. This is from the fourth commandment in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8.
According to our calendar, is the seventh day Saturday or Sunday?
And when the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, very early in the morning the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. And entering into the sepulchre they saw a young man. And he saith unto them, Be not affrighted, ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. This is from Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 6.
Everyone knows that Sunday was the resurrection day. The Sabbath had ended when it dawned. Thus, it is evident that the Sabbath is Saturday, the day before Sunday.
But Lord, didn't you abolish the law which includes the Sabbath commandment?
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Matthew 5:17.
Isn't Saturday a Jewish day? Isn't the seventh day the Sabbath of the Jews?
The Sabbath was made for man. Mark 2:27. The Sabbath was made and given to man 1,500 years before the existence of a Jew. See Genesis 2, 1-3.
Someone told me that after your crucifixion, your followers no longer kept the seventh-day Sabbath according to the commandment. Is this true?
And that day was the preparation day, and the Sabbath drew on. And the women also which came with him from Galilee followed after and beheld the sepulchre, and how his body was laid. And they returned and prepared spices and ointments, and rested the Sabbath day according to the commandment. Luke 23, 54-56.
Didn't the Apostle Paul always meet with the early Christians on Sunday in honor of the resurrection? What was his practice regarding a day of worship?
And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the Scriptures. Acts 17, verse 2.
Did he meet with Gentile converts on the Sabbath too? Perhaps he met with the Jews on the Sabbath and the Greeks on Sunday. What about that?
And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks. Acts 18, verse 4.
What did Paul teach regarding Sabbath keeping?
There remaineth therefore a keeping of the Sabbath to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his. Hebrews 4, verses 9-10.
But which day did Paul mean when he spoke of resting as God did?
For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 4.
Yes, and this clearly refers to the Sabbath, the day of rest established by God himself.
Is this then your instruction regarding Sabbath keeping?
For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of God. Acts chapter 20, verse 27. In the New Testament, there are no less than 59 references to the Sabbath. The book of Acts records 84 Sabbaths on which the Apostle Paul and his associates held religious services. Yet, there is not one word in the entire Bible authorizing Sunday keeping.
Then why do so many people keep Sunday instead of Saturday? If the Bible teaches Sabbath keeping, how and by whom was Sunday keeping introduced into Christianity?
And he, the little horn power, shall speak great words against the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Daniel chapter 7, verse 25.
The Roman Catholic Church is identified as the little horn of Daniel 7. Do you mean that it should think to change the law of God?
Ask now the priests concerning the law. Haggai 2:11.
Very well, I will ask Stephen Keenan, a Catholic priest. Does your church think it has the power to change the law of God?
Had she not such power,
She could not have done that in which all modern religionists agree with her. She could not have substituted the observance of Sunday, the first day of the week, for the observance of Saturday, the seventh day of the week, a change for which there is no scriptural authority. Doctrinal Catechism, page 174.
When was this change made?
We observe Sunday instead of Saturday because the Catholic Church in the Council of Laodicea, 364 AD, transferred the solemnity from Saturday to Sunday. The Convert's Catechism, Peter Geiermann, page 50. This catechism received the Pope's blessing on January 25, 1910.
Does your church consider this change a mark of its authority?
Of course, the Catholic Church claims that the change, Saturday Sabbath to Sunday, was her act, and the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical authority in religious things. H.F. Thomas, Chancellor of Cardinal Gibbons.
Do Protestant ministers agree with this?
Congregationalist, it is quite clear that however rigidly or devotedly we may spend Sunday, we are not keeping the Sabbath. Dr. R.W. Dale, The Ten Commandments, page 106. Methodist Sabbath in the Hebrew language signifies rest and is the seventh day of the week. And it must be confessed that there is no law in the New Testament concerning the first day. Buck's Theological Dictionary. Baptist, there was and is a commandment to keep holy the Sabbath day, but that Sabbath day was not Sunday. It will be said, however, and with some show of triumph, that the Sabbath was transferred from the seventh to the first day of the week. Where can the record of such a transfer be found? Not in the New Testament. Absolutely not. Of course, I quite well know that Sunday did not come into use in early Christian history. But what a pity that it comes branded with the mark of paganism and christened with the name of the sun god when adopted and sanctioned by the papal apostasy and bequeathed as a sacred legacy to Protestantism. Dr. E. Hiscox, author of the Baptist Manual.
Since all the Protestant religions agree the Sabbath was never changed, why do they follow Rome's practice?
All the world wondered after the beast, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Revelation 13, verses 3 and 8.
What difference does it make which day I keep? A day is a day, isn't it?
Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. Romans 6, verse 16.
Then what shall I do? Obey the Sabbath of God's commandment or keep the Sunday of man?
We ought to obey God rather than men. Acts 5, verse 29.
Lord, what do you think of Sunday keeping?
Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Matthew 15, verses 6 and 9.